We're continuing our study on the Westminster Larger Catechism, the section we have designated as the Doctrine of God or Theology Proper. We have been looking at creationism, and we now move to the providence of God. This is question number 18, and it is part 1. The Westminster Divines ask, what are the works of God's providence? And they answered, God's works of providence are His most holy, wise, and powerful preserving and governing all His creatures, or creation, ordering them and all their actions to His glory. Question number 18 continues the process of reminding us that it is God who hath created all things. It is God who continues to uphold all things by the power of His own word. Because all things consist in Him. They were created by Him, and for Him they exist. And therefore they cannot maintain a existence apart from the power of our God, thinking them in existence. Thus we say creation is always totally dependent on God for existence. Therefore, apart from God, nothing can exist. But God Himself is the only self-existent, self-sustaining being that exists. God is independent of His creation, but creation is not independent of God. But yet at the same time, it is not a part of God. That would be pantheism. We have what is called a theistic dualism. That is to say, God is ontologically one thing, while creation itself, as His thoughts, are something else, and exist in a world that is real to all that is created. Historically, the doctrinal system known as deism maintained that God created all things that exist, but left it to work out unto its own destiny according to the mechanistic laws that were given to govern it. Often, this system of deism is compared to a clock in which God created it, that He wound it up, and then He let it alone according to the natural laws and not divine laws, and those natural laws carry it to its logical conclusions. Christianity, having lost its rightful definition and understanding of the Creator God, as we have expressed it in theistic idealism, is also incapable of defending the faith over against the onslaught of evolutionary claims of mechanistic order of the universe, and therefore a natural law process in the nature of the things created themselves. For Christianity to destroy the false claims of these humanistic systems of cosmology, we must understand from our axiom the God who is declared as Creator and Redeemer. There are various theistic type groups which are both ecclesiastical and those which are religious in nature, but not a part of the visible church, that have made claims about God, but claims that really mirror deistic thinking. For example, one such organization is the Free Masonic Lodge, who call God the grand architect of the universe, as well as other such organizations, Odd Fellows, and many other groups that can be recognized. The rejection of such organizations is based on the fact that they build their societies upon a false understanding of God and how He has ordered His universe. In reality, these organizations are nothing more than false religions. The church, as well as those Christians who profess to know the biblical doctrine of God, are required to remain outside of such organizations, lest they become entangled in supporting, defending, or accepting their false doctrines and become idolatrous in their practices. All things are Christ, and therefore no one has any right or claim to anything that does not understand Christ as he is revealed from the Scripture, the purpose of God in creation as it relates to his Son. Listen to St. Paul, chapter 1, in Colossians, verses 15 through 18. He, that is Christ, is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn over all creation. For by him all things were created that are in heaven and that are on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or principalities or powers. All things were created through him and for him, and he is before all things, and in him all things consist. And he is the head of the body, the church, who is the beginning, the firstborn from the dead, that in all things Christ may have the preeminence. And we're told in Acts 17 and 28, for in him we live and move and have our being. Next time we shall continue the study of the providence of God. But let us not fall prey to deistic theology in any shape or form that it might come into us, nor be involved in social societies that uphold the concept of a deistic God who, while saying he is creator, deny his true omnipotence and sovereignty over the totality of his creation. For doing so is to betray the truth of Scripture, and to betray the truth of Scripture is to betray our God.